Hey you guys, so it is week 2 of my PPE and it's going pretty good. This week I worked with the CDI team and I also had my meeting with the education, the lady who's the manager over education and compliance, so the governance department, I guess. Um, well, she's a part of the governance, the information governance department. Anyway, she's a branch off. So far it's been pretty interesting. The things that I like when you guys get into the program, class C810 is a beast of a class, but everything that I am learning in my PPE will most likely help me pass that class. It's awesome because I was so worried about the class not passing. The only thing I think I need to really make sure I know is my IG principles and my data principles. I forgot what they're called. Anyway, like 17 or 18 terms. Anyway, I can do that. That's no problem. But it's really nice to make that connection from studying stuff and looking over the paperwork to actually doing it in real life. It helps stick, it helps make those I guess synopsis fire, and it's making sense. So I guess that's if you're like me and sometimes the reading and the paperwork, I mean, it's just paperwork, to me it doesn't really make sense until I actually get in there and do it myself. So it's a lot better. So that's for that part. And then the CDI team, so that's a clinical documentation. I don't know what the I stands for. So they're clinical documentation people, and basically they just make sure the doctor's notes and stuff are complete. And as far as us coders, making sure we're coding what is actually being documented in the documentation. Like we had a discussion about COPD exacerbation versus chronic respiratory failure, and how the documentation is worded and with how it's worded precisely to which one we can code and what the physician is actually documented. Documentation needs to be so precise. Stuff that's really I don't know, speculative, and not really clear, it's basically like a free-for-all. We can code, we code what we want, what we feel, or how we interpret the documentations ourselves, instead of having hard, documentation saying, oh, this is this because, I did these tests, or this is what the test results came out to be, So there's a lot of back and forth, this CDI team with the coding team going back and forth from documentation. That just means that the physicians out there, if you know any, need to make sure the documentation is right and whatever they do is documented, because if it's not, didn't happen, and we can't assume anything, you know what I mean? So if the patient already had COPD, most likely they're going to choose exacerbated COPD or something like that, especially if they're having respiratory issues, or just code the signs and symptoms. So that was pretty interesting. I will say, like, some things I want to make you guys aware of is probably when you start your PPE, for people who do have to do the management portion because you have no management experience like me, you have to do some footwork. I've had a few people ask me this. You have to do the footwork. It will take 4 to 6 months with WGU if you let it take 4 to 6 months. Some things you can't help, especially if the facility has no contract with WGU. It will probably take that long because, they got to get the lawyers involved. They got to get different departments involved, have to, go over contracts and sign paperwork. But if the facility has a contract with WGU, it does not have to take you 4 to 6 months to actually start your PPE or to get into the door. You know what I mean? But you have to reach out to those facilities and say, hey, I want to do my PPE here. Do you have a contract with WGU? And the education or compliance people will look for the HIM department, or HR will look for you, and they will let you know. Yes, it might take them a few weeks, because this is probably low on the priority list, so I would not wait to do those things. I would say if you have a total of 4 terms, so 2 years at WGU, it's a good idea to start looking for your PPE in that second term, or the third term, at least the start of the third term. You need to start looking for all that stuff, getting all that stuff straight, and getting your documentation together and getting your immunizations together. That TB one, the skin test, do not wait for that one. That is a 2-step test. I had no idea. Back in the day, it was just one. You got the TB skin test and that was it. Maybe because I always did them through the facility, but now it's a 2-step. I don't know why, but it is. I guess they just want you to spend your $70, spend your $70 to get these tests done. But yeah. What else have I been asked? Oh, the WGU support group. There's only one support group, and it's through that I know of. It's through Facebook. There's a WGU accelerators group, and then each profession that the college has a help group, and we talk about the classes. We talk about things we don't understand, and people will reach out to you in your inbox and will help you with whatever they can. Some of the people here, you got to keep in mind, they're at the same pace, or especially our program, as you are. And some of these people haven't taken these classes before, so no one can really help. So keep that in mind. Or the people who have finished are no longer active on the page. So keep that in mind. You might get help, you might not, on every single class. But yeah, I mean, yeah, you just have to be hooked up into social media. I know some, like, older people don't, that's not something they want to do. But being that we're in the HIM world, everything's technology based. I don't see how you can really get around not being a part of social media. I don't want to say, healthcare and social media have something to do with each other, but a lot of stuff is online now. I mean, LinkedIn, all the applications are online, just everything's online. So it probably behoove you to get your social media going, so at least you can get help for your classes. Like me, I'm active on that group, and if I've taken the class, like, I'll help. But if I haven't, then I can't offer any assistance. But yeah. Oh, so something else. My educator for my program is reaching out to the cancer registry department. Really excited about this. Hopefully she can get somebody back to sponsor me, or to sit down and talk with me. I'm really interested in the cancer registry, but I know it's really difficult to get into. It's kind of like their own secret organization. So I'm going to try and get some time with them, and I'll let you guys know if I get it, and I'll report back and let you know what they say. So I don't know if anybody else is interested in the cancer registry, but I am. And I know there's a lot of longevity in this department, and people tend to basically demand their salary, or make their salary, whatever they want, because there's not a lot of people going to the cancer registry or tumor registry because of the type of work, and then the requirements to get in the door. You have to have at least 2 years of experience before you can sit for the exam, but no one will take you if you don't have registry experience. There's 2 other routes that you can go. Education is one of them, and you can get an associate's degree and sit for the exam. And then another one is if you, I think, have a bachelor's or something like that. I'm not really sure. You guys would have to Google that part, but I'll report back and let you know how it went with the cancer registry. Sorry, my camera thing is sideways. I don't know. I'm trying something out to see how it would work. So yeah, I'll keep you guys informed. Bye.